show.
July 25th, 2024. Yes, we have Gopher Show. 9 a.m. and 48 seconds. Started on time. Microphone is working. Speaker bot is working. I have my headset on. I actually rehearsed this morning. I did a unlisted live stream to remind myself how to do this. Would it be appropriate to walk into the confessional and say, viewers, forgive me, for it has been 5 days since my last live stream. Yikes. Oh, this has been the week from, I'm going to go ahead and say it, hell. This has been a hell week for me. Between headaches and workload, ugh. I have not been a happy camper. Let's take a look at some of this stuff in chat. First chat showing up at 7:42. Oh, that was me. Imagine the voice of mission control with even Zulu time. That's the correct Zulu time at that point in time. Alice, hi all, and she liked the song that was playing for the trailer. There's a link in the description for today's trailer. First show since Saturday. Yes, Frosty Winnipeg, you are correct. Alice says, I think there was a show on Monday. No, there was not. Martin Hogg, hi all. Is that a female pendulum? LOL. Yeah, no, you lost me. I don't, female pen, do I not want to pursue that joke? I don't know. I didn't even see that pre-read. Ken Stout Live. Once again, Ken Stout Live is
V-Man
wrong.
said, is it really you? Hi, Doug and chat.
Well, you're going to have to explore whether this is actually a deep fake. I am responding to your questions, V. Manor. So how good is my deep fake in my AI presentation? Ken Stout says he's canceled all week until today. And I'm saying, no, that's not true. It's not right. I never did schedule a show for Monday. Therefore,
Jonathan
I
said,
did not
wonka, wonka,
cancel
wonka.
Monday. So no, I didn't cancel Monday. There was never a show scheduled. Wintermute says no.
Jim KJ3N said, I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that.
Female metronome. No, I'm still not there. That's from Steve. Two people understanding that. Let's see, was it the trailer? Oh, that was, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Are you taking a little dangly thing in the back of the throat? I don't know. Confucius, that's way just right past over my head. Confucius say, man who runs behind car will get exhausted. Confucius also say, man who runs in front of the car will get tired. Ba-doom-bop. Let's see, am I saying hello to people? Jonathan, Brian Lightfoot, Steve
with
McCure.
AI, every think it is possible.
With AI, everything it is possible. Yeah, it is possible. Brian Lightfoot, Ken Stout, Bobby Warren, hello. Is this really happening or am I dreaming? There's the speaker bot stuff. Oh, that's so cool when I figured out how to make those happen once and I don't have to go do anything to stop them. Lawn dog, I saw an ad for some kind of a dog thing. Maybe was dog food. I don't know. My memory is so short. Can't even remember 30 seconds ago. Jonathan reports everything okay. Reversed. Am I on the wrong channel? Hello, Jim, Rick. Should it go easy tonight? Oh, let's see. Ken Stout. Yeah, there was something. Ken's got two computers now and one keyboard mouse, and he's moving the dongle back and forth between them. Oh, there was the word dongle. Was that female dongle? Is that what he was talking about? There's this thing that somebody in the chat room turned me on to for down here, this little icon here, mouse without borders. So my mouse will go from Big Beast and just go over to the right to Baby Beast between these two machines. And you can choose how you want these set up. So you could use the mouse when it goes over to the other computer, the monitor for the other computer, the keyboard automatically switches to that. So if that's of interest to you, let the homies help you through that. There are some nuances about how it works that I won't bother telling you about unless you actually go down that road. Metronome. Jen the metronome. Oh, when I had Jennifer on, was Jenny on in this morning's? I don't think so. Brenda, that was just me. Female metronome. There's another brainstorm that has Jenny. I didn't have her turned on today. Uh-oh. All right, moving on quickly. This ad demonstrates that YouTube is finding ad support for your term or selling ads for your channel. Well, what was it that he said back there? I saw an ad for some kind of dog thing. Maybe it was dog food. My memory's so short. So he's saying I saw an ad when he was waiting for my show or when my show started and thought it was somehow related to my show, I guess. Homies helping homies. What a novel idea. Jim DeCan, this will solve all your keyboard issues. Let's see what he's showing here. Oh, small wireless keyboard combo. Boy, that looks a lot like... No. Actually, no, it doesn't look like this one. This one is white. This one almost looks like an apple, but it actually looks like this one that I'm actually using. Let's see, that was small wireless brand. I don't see a brand name on it, but it sure looks like the one that I'm actually using. Small wire, yeah, purchase another variation one time. So yeah, that's the one I purchased. That's what I'm using. Except that I'm not using that mouse. That mouse is parked over here on the desk. It's still functional if I turn it on. Oh, it is on. That mouse could fight against me. But I'm not using that mouse. I'm using this one for some reason. Oh, this was the mouse for Baby Beast. And I guess, yeah, there's something about that other mouse I didn't
Ken
like.
Stout Live said, "Oh, it is on."
Oh, it is on. Okay, it is so on. Okay. Black or white. Greg M, hello. Saw ad for Wix, even with uBlock Origin enabled. Keyboard doesn't have RGB. Apparently you got a different ad, but still YouTube selling ads to Doug's channel. That's the main point. Yeah, each person's probably going to get different ads. I don't think you'll get the same ad. Keeping an eye open for 12 to 13 inch.
Jay said, how are you, Doug?
I'm fine, thank you, Alice. 12 to 13 inch tablet, probably for PDF viewing. Would like to stay with Windows, but not seeing anything. Budget $400. Think old model sold out. Maybe something is new is coming. 12 to 13 inch tablet for PDF viewing. Prefer it to be with Windows. That would mean Windows 11. Just for PDF viewing. So let's see if somebody gives her some links with suggestions for that. Thank you for posing that question to the chat room. Well, there's no question mark, but I'm going to say it's a question. More accurate statement on returning parts for an i5 13600 build I had ordered. Probably going to wait for a bit and go with AMD. I even remembered to check to see if Kerry Holzman has a show. Yes, he does. And I've got a redirect set for it. Here's what it is. CodeLix GD90 mini PC review. And let me zoom this down so we can see the title. Live high-end desktop mini PC, Intel i9 12900. Hey Doug, how does that compare with Big Beast build? Well, glad you asked. Let me show you right here. Big Beast build is an older generation i9, 9980. So this mini computer looks like it might be more powerful. Now that HK might mean something as far as its power, probably lower power consumption, less heat, I would think. Looking down here, Intel Iris Xe graphics, 32 gigabytes RAM, Wi-Fi, network port, USB ports. Doesn't show here how much storage that particular one has, but that should be an interesting show. Lawn Dog, I've looked into a little side monitor kind of thing. Even a tablet will work. Yeah, but you could use a small, like a portable screen. I've got a portable screen in the car. Really nice little size, sets up on a little stand. It can become an additional monitor, but it still needs to receive a signal from a computer. But the PDF viewing, you want them completely separate from the computer for that PDF viewing so that it is a functional computer of its own. Punk rock videos. Anyway, I think I know what you're after. Got to ask Frosty Mart for a deal. There are a lot of inexpensive tablets to some degree that will be used for a side display. If you only want for PDF, why do you want it to be Windows? Why not a what's that other a Chrome tablet? If it's just for PDF viewing, that would be a lot less expensive. That question to Danielle. All right, so things I've got lined up. Oh, let's go to channel comments. Got quite a bit of comments. The CrowdStrike video did really well. Not massively well, but good. So, you know what? I'm going to start with this one up here. Hopefully to get odd. Let's see. Odd darn a roll. Odd darn a roll. I looked at a little bit these. What was it? Well, let me go check again. Yeah, his channel is all different language. I think it was Norwegian, I want to say. He's got a young child. Some videos on his channel. But anyway, let's get into what he says. Zoom in a little bit. Darn a roll, darn. I'm trying to pull a name out of that. Odd, darner roll.
Brian Lightfoot said, please zoom in on chat comments, as old users such as Ken Stout have trouble reading the small type.
Got it. We'll go in one more. So, odd darn a roll. This video will not age well, just blind speculation from the host. Guest is more careful with his statement. The sys file actually just contains null values, and a bug is executing this in kernel mode. Thank you for the comment, odd darn a roll. He correctly points out, yes, this video will not age well. Wasn't expected to because it's a trending topic. Videos that will age well we call green content, and most of my content is green content in the case that people who decide years down the road to binge my older content, it's still about troubleshooting issues, so it is green content. Just isn't very popular because nobody searches for this kind of thing. Where show me a website that I can, or a YouTube channel that I can go to get live responses to my questions. They're not specific. I could do better with green content if I pull out more videos, more excerpts from my videos that are searchable terms and things that can be last longer and age well. I just don't have time to do that currently. I'm trying to find ways to do that. Now, he's correct in saying it will not age well, of course, because it's a trending topic. So, right on point there. Just blind speculation from the host. Well, I'm going to push back a little bit on that because I'm not going to say the number of years. I've been self-employed, gainfully, supporting family since 1992 in my own business. Worked for about 3 years prior to that for a couple other companies, and been fascinated by following the stories of other attacks and failures and tech failures and things like that. So not blind. I stand behind my speculation. I think it was reasonable and on point. Guest is more careful in his statement. Well, yes, of course, because he was telling about his actual experience and being careful because he didn't want to reveal too much about his employer. The sys file actually just contains null values and a bug is executing in kernel mode. Now, that's a piece that I'm still very interested in. Now, at that point in time for that video, I hadn't seen the file with the null values. But the CEO, Kurtz, I think he is, he's the founder and the CEO of CrowdStrike, and Steve Gibson, both seem to dismiss that and say that that was debunked. And I don't think that's true, because people who have actually had accessed that file, they can see it has null values. That does seem to be a significant point. And we have not been told the details of that yet. Both Steve Gibson and Kurtz, I want to say his name is, I didn't look that up recently. I was saying that wasn't a factor, but that just doesn't make sense, because that would imply that after that file got to the subject computers, that it somehow got modified to the null bytes, but the date and timestamp had not gotten modified by virtue of that content getting modified. Now, the one speculation that I said about that seemed like taking a machete, cutting off that piece, that didn't hold water, because it turns out as soon as the computer starts up, it's going to re-download the updated version of that file that has been fixed. So the functionality of CrowdStrike is still completely in place, even after doing that fix. So I will send a timestamp to Odd Darna Roll. Hey, what we do around here, Odd Darna Roll, we're here 6 days a week, taking people's questions, responding, not just me, but me and the chat room. The ideal thing is we like to have people come in with issues that they're having with their computers and offer solutions, give ideas, and that's been going really, really well. Unfortunately, it just doesn't ring well to the YouTube search algorithm. So we'd love to see you come around and hang with us. I'll send him a timestamp to this point in the video. Now let's go back and take these in order. Piquat. Well, no, I need to start with the first of these three. This message thread started with Greg M. New recovery tool to help with CrowdStrike issue impacting Windows endpoints. This comes from Microsoft. In the responses to that, Costanza, the mage, said more and more organizations are disabling USB ports for using flash drives for security purposes. And with my employer, this would not help with so many people that work from home. So that USB thumb drive that will boot the computer up and help with that recovery issue. It's going to work for some people. So it's a good thing for Microsoft to provide, just it isn't usable for everybody. Now, Piquat, this was another person jumping in here. Let's do read more. Piquat responding to Costanza, USB ports disabled in their company, or his company, her company. All the field IT techs have no admin rights. Very few people have admin rights in the organization. BitLocker installed on all the machines. This company is spread across the western half of the US, and they have about 30,000 users. I don't work there anymore. I am curious how they're handling this. Maybe they made a tool for the field techs to run, still have to get by BitLocker, so the USB drive would have to have the BitLocker for each machine that it's being sent to. They could put files on that USB for multiple different machines, but that would be a security risk. They should put the BitLocker key for individual computers on one USB drive and send it out, so they don't have lots of USB keys out there that have the BitLocker for all their computers. That would be a serious security risk. Lots of miles driven on this one, I'm sure. So that was another interesting comment and complication. So I'll be responding to those with timestamps for the people who are not regulars around here. Josh Kinder says they made the bug, so they should be the one to walk people through how to fix it. It's only right. Yes, they have been doing that, Josh. CrowdStrike, when you're signed up with CrowdStrike, you actually have, as I understand, I'm not sure this is right, a assigned tech and an assigned contact within the company. So you call for support and you get support, and they are helping people through that, according to the reports. And I haven't seen anybody complaining that CrowdStrike is unresponsive to their clients. Ernesto, my fave tech, let them work from home, he said, LOL. And Ernesto, hopefully you will rewind a little bit and watch the responses to these others. I tell a little bit about what we do around here, and I invite you to come and hang out with us. I can't tell whether Ernesto has been a watcher on this channel or just came in because of this CrowdStrike story. Then coming to this one, start with Frosty Winnipeg. For what it's worth, my IT brother said, it was as simple as going into recovery mode and renaming the CS agent.sys file to CS agent old.sys and rebooting. Well, that is not really a great idea because that totally disables CrowdStrike. So you have zero protection at that point. You're better off following the instructions provided by CrowdStrike. You can get the computer restarted. Now, perhaps if you're able to do the deletion of that problematic file once you're in Windows and then restart the computer so CrowdStrike can get its updates and get the right file in place. That would be okay to do. But don't continue running the computer with CS agent disabled, because then that money is just, you're totally exposed and vulnerable that way. And the money you're spending is down the drain. Rational Bushcraft says the file C291*sys, that's the one that's the problem file. It's actually an asterisk here. So any files that match that name plus any characters after that. When I got the call at 5 a.m., I had not seen the news yet, and I didn't know how widespread it was. The first server I checked the memory dump, it said fault in NTOS kernel. So I knew it was a kernel mode driver, but not which one. But I did notice that CrowdStrike had recently been recently updated, so I uninstalled it and fixed it. Well, those updates of these .sys files, they happen multiple times a day. So noticing that it had been recently updated was not really conclusive that CrowdStrike was the problem. So I uninstalled it from all the servers that were affected. Uninstalled it. Well, you can't get the servers booted to perform an uninstall until you implement the fix. If your server is up and running and did not crash, that means your server missed that problematic update and it got the new update, because there was only an hour and a half between the time when the bad update went out and when the good update was put into play. So any servers that did not get that problematic update never did crash, or computers that never got that update did not crash, because when they did their updates, they got the newer version of that file. Not every server had an issue. Yeah, okay, that would be because they didn't get the problematic update. Of course, that means it has to be reinstalled now that a fix is in place. Yeah, so that was kind of inconvenient to have to go through reinstalling it later. And then, let's see, I did get Ernesto. Where am I at? I will stop bouncing around. I promise. I promise. Rational bushcraft. Who introduced the bug? That is still undeclared. I suspect that behind closed doors, there are technicians and there are suits that know, suits, the executives in the company. There are technicians and suits that know how it happened, know where it came from. And they are under strict instructions to not release that to the public yet until the lawyers and the PR people and the board of directors and everybody negotiates. How are we going to put a spin on this? And there's another possibility. Okay, here's another blind speculation. Eyes open here. I don't think I've heard this one. It is possible that the branch of the FBI who investigates cyber attacks, it is possible this was still a cyber attack, that perhaps CrowdStrike did do their due diligence in testing, but that a cyber attack managed to trigger this in such a way so that the problem wasn't triggered until it got outside of CrowdStrike's realm somehow. Now, as far as the testing part, these happen so often and they're expected to be so, well, let me get on, that's a programming question, so we'll get onto that later. This is the speculation about, could it still have been a cyber attack? I know the CEO says it wasn't. No, I don't buy that from the CEO this soon. The way that it could still be a cyber attack, if it was designed, crafted in such a way so that the problem didn't show up until it got outside of CrowdStrike's computers and test computers and their testing ring, if they have such a thing, and then got exposed. Why would a cyber attacker want to do that? Yes, the terrorist style of cyber attacks want to do that. Not the hackers that are out for profit, but the ones that want to create chaos and havoc among the technological world. This is exactly the kind of thing that they would love to have done. Exactly. Now, if that is the case, the branch of the FBI that investigates this might be ordering CrowdStrike to not release any information while they are still investigating and trying to actually find the original culprit. That's a possibility. Not a high odds. I wouldn't place a bet on that, but a possibility. Now, the other thing is that if it's a programming problem, and this is what Steve Gibson was really pointing out as could be, is that it could be an error capturing that was not foreseen by the programmers as something that could go wrong. They've been doing these updates for a massive long amount of time. This system of these updates has been in place since the inception of CrowdStrike, of that particular product that they have. It's been a long time. And it's been working and working and working and working. Now, in the perfect storm scenario, where all these minor little factors compile and conspire to create a certain set of circumstances that cause this to happen in a way that the programmers never even conceived that they need to do error capturing. I'm not using the right word for that. Error capturing. All right, that's what I'm going to go with now until I see somebody give me a better word. They never perceive that they might need to check for that. So that's a possibility. And if that's the possibility, will CrowdStrike ever admit that? Don't bet on it. Don't bet on it. The requirement for companies is to reveal that they've had a data incident. They've had a cyber incident. They've had a loss of data, something like that. To my knowledge, I don't believe they are required to give us all the technical details about how it happened. If you look at the file, it's all null bytes. If a hacker had done it, they would want the files that runs at the system level to have a reverse shell or take commands from a command and control server. That's why it's C2, command and control 2Cs, C2 server, not just crash machines. That is absolutely not true. Totally disagree with that. That's if it's a hacker that wants to accomplish for financial or to cause a deeper problem for that company. Actually, this is already causing a deep problem for that company. Not all cyber attacks need to be able to go to that level of a reverse shell in C2 server. Not just crash the machines. And yeah, I disagree totally here. Some attacks can be just to crash machines and create chaos and havoc in the technologically dependent world. I doubt it was a hack, but more something like corrupted the file during the commit process before it was committed. This is another possibility. Some combination of minor factors that never were perceived to cause a problem actually caused a problem in the commit process. Although after the commit process, that's when a testing should be done. And do they or do they not test that at that point? We don't know. I'm overtime. Petso Kamagaya. Here's another one. User is in Japan. And by the way, Petso, I'm going to send you a timestamp to this point in the video. Hopefully you'll rewind and listen to the responses to the rest of these replies on this video. It says, here's another one, meaning CrowdStrike recovery complications. That's what this video is about, was complications. User is in Japan, region set to Japan, but the user had changed the keyboard to US. Was a pain to find the change keyboard layout menu. Otherwise, could not enter the / and the colon for the DOS command line to remove the stupid 291*.sys file. Yikes. Yeah, who would have thought of that ahead? Already responded to Odd Darnaro. He was the first response. P. Jackson. This was on the Comcast Xfinity video. That was a long time. See, that's a green video. That one has a long shelf life. I keep getting comments on that one. Comcast Xfinity is the worst provider, hands down. I agree with you. That's the only choice I have here. The problem is they have a monopoly in most small cities and towns. I pulled out of my driveway last week, and there was an AT&T car parked right at my curb on the other side of my driveway. On the other neighbor, there was a Dish TV car parked, or van, service van. I pulled alongside this AT&T car, rolled down my window, and said, "Hi, what are you doing here? Tell me, please, you're setting up your internet service in this neighborhood." She said, "No, I'm sorry. It's still coming down the road, but I'm here because they're here. We try to follow up when they come out to a service call." So does that mean AT&T is following along behind Dish TV? Are they associated with each other somehow? I don't know. That was weird. Now, how has this video done as far as poor shelf life? Let's go look at that. Let's see. I'll go bring up this menu because that's an interesting thing. Zoom down so I can get to this. Go to content. Now, I did some thumbnail testing on this. That's why this shows
Ken Stout
3 different
Live said
thumbnails.
following along translates to spying.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. AT&T was spying on Dish TV. And if I go into analytics for this video, 1.3 thousand views. That's really good for my channel. And watch time 79 hours. And you can see here the shelf life is already over with. People are no longer interested in this video. $2.59 off of this video for Doug. Oh, yay. So excited. I can buy that new boat. You know, the boat that I can float around in the bathtub. That one. Average view duration, 3 minutes 37. You can see how much they fall off. So the amount of people watching at the end when my suggested videos come up wasn't good. Wasn't good. Now that video, I should have explained to Darna Roll. Sorry, I don't remember the rest of the name right now. That was not a plan. That was not prearranged. I started the show that Saturday, and one of our viewers in chat said that he had this, he experienced the problem, and I invited right then on the spot to come into Zoom. And it was just on the spot. No planning or preparation at all. That's what this channel, how this channel rolls. Then let's see, some other things to, it came mostly from YouTube recommendations, 88.4%. Let's see, where's those? Oh, I need to go to reach to show how those different thumbnails worked, because that was interesting. Here's the 3 different thumbnails, 37%. This was the winning thumbnail. These other 2 that had other background stuff competing with the text. The draw here for a thumbnail was the text because of that video. There is no imagery that I could give that really stands out. This text and saying it was complications, that was what was unique about this video. Now, the low response, the low clicks, I think is because there was a lot of competition for this topic. A lot of major YouTube channels, a lot of major national news sources all had videos on this. So now, but here's an interesting thing. Google gave me #1 spot. Let's see, I gotta find where I had this. Let's see. Yeah, Google here. Let's get this one up. This was impressive. Unfortunately, there weren't many people using this search term. I took a screenshot of this, is what I'm showing you here. I did a Google search, CrowdStrike recovery stories, and my video was the very first one after 1 day of the video. Now, CrowdStrike recovery stories, because my video was specifically that. CrowdStrike recovery stories. Am I still in the #1 position? I got down. That was scrolled down to get to the videos, so that wasn't. Oops. Well, it scrolled on the first page last time, so it looks like I'm gonna have to click videos for that. Yep, I'm still in first place when you click on videos. Unfortunately, it just hasn't been a major thrust on the channel. Now, if I go back here to look at content, yeah, so here 1264, and you see my videos just don't have that much of a draw. I'm a small channel. I don't have highly searchable content. So that video is very well worth doing. Now, if I look at my highest videos.
Ken Stout Live said, here's an idea. Stream more than once a week and you might move up the scroll ladder. Just a thought.
For those who don't know, I stream 6 days a week. That's Ken Stout poking fun at me because I didn't stream much this week. But these were green videos. These had a good shelf life. So let's see, let's look at this one. See, that's just still going up and up
Brian
and up.
Lightfoot said, "Good boy, Dougie, good boy. You're #1."
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, so I do have some green content that just keeps going and going and going.
Ken Stout Live said, aha, he admits it.
Yeah, I don't know which admission were you referring to there. Admits that I didn't stream much this week is probably the thing. Yeah, rough week. All right, I'm going to call it a wrap. I even practiced my buttons so that I would hit the buttons correctly. Yeah, there it is. Got that right. And then that's the right one to hit. So you can watch this video to see how to get free support through this channel. You can watch this video. These are short videos to see how to get paid support from me directly in private session. This video to see how to turbocharge your troubleshooting experience watching this channel. This is a video that YouTube thinks will be good for you to watch, and it's probably a recent video. See that? None of those speaker bots